Hey, this is Jill Ciminillo with Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and today I am driving the Subaru Forester Wilderness. And this is set apart from the regular model because of the extra cladding, the all-terrain tires, the dual function X mode with hill descent control, and the extra ground clearance. Now, because I've already done a first look review of this vehicle, this is not that. What I'm going to do in this review is tell you 5 good things and 5 bad things. So let's take a closer look right now. All right, let's start off the like list with some of the things that I like on the interior, and we'll just start with this right here. In addition to having a really nice kind of honeycomb pattern that is on this leatherette seating surface, this surface is water resistant and really easy to wipe down. So if you're getting into the vehicle with muddy, wet clothes, have no fear. All you have to do is when you get back out again, just wipe it down and it'll be good as new. And for somebody who runs a lot in the rain and who tends to get a little bit muddy, I certainly appreciate that. Along those lines, another good thing on this vehicle is going to be this right here. The headliner is actually black, and Subaru did that on purpose because they recognize that people are going to be loading this vehicle with things like bikes, kayaks, and gear, and yeah, it might scuff the roof. And if it scuffs the roof liner, it's not going to make a mark. You're not going to see it because it's black. So that is thing number 2 that is really good on the Subaru Forester Wilderness. Now, the third thing that I like on the Subaru Forester Wilderness is going to be the adaptive cruise control system. And if you aren't familiar, this is a system that you set your cruise control, and then if somebody who's slower pulls in front of you, well, the vehicle will slow down automatically. So it controls your braking and your speed or acceleration based on what speed you set at the cruise control and the vehicle in front of you. This right here is going to be a graphical representation of what's going on basically in front of you. And so if you're driving down the road and you've set your speed and nobody's in front of you, it'll look like this. If somebody pulls in front of you and slows down, a vehicle will come in front of you and it looks like a Subaru WRX actually. And how you set the system is really simple. You just hit this button here and then you can set and then resume, and then you can also set your distance between the vehicle and this vehicle and the vehicle in front of you by hitting these. So if you feel more less comfortable and you want more distance, you simply hit the button up, and then if you feel more comfortable and like a little bit less of a following distance, you simply hit this button here and it will decrease the distance. But overall, I've driven about 400 miles and I use this system a lot, and adaptive cruise control is definitely one of the good things. Because I'm really big on design, it should surprise nobody ever that the 4th thing on the good list for me is going to be all of the gold accents. So you see it on the stitching, you see it on the gear shift, you can see it on the badging, and when you step outside, you also see the bronze accents on the roof rails, and you'll see it right here on the Forester badging as well. Now, the final thing on the good list for the Subaru Forester Wilderness is going to be this cargo area. So in addition to standard floor mats that are waterproof and incredibly cleanable, you also have a water resistant and very wipeable seat back. You also have some hooks here and some various latches and hooks throughout this cargo space to tie down things or, I don't know, hang something. You also have an LED light back here to light up the back area if you get back to your vehicle after an adventure and it's already dark. Now, one of my favorite things is going to be this right here, because you can simply pop that button and it will lower both of the seats without much of a fuss. So this area right here, this cargo space on the Subaru Forester Wilderness, rounds out the good list. Now, to dig into the bad things on the Subaru Forester Wilderness, we have to climb back inside. And powered up. Now, the first thing you may have noticed is you have some incredibly low-tech gauges back here. Now, personally, that doesn't bother me, so that is not on my bad list, but what is on my bad list is this right here. These graphics are severely outdated, and to me, that's a bit of a tech miss. In 2022, this is a software update. This would be something that's really easy to correct and fix, and yet, yeah, that looks really, really old. And the other thing is, now again, this 2-screen system doesn't necessarily bother me. I actually kind of like it because I like the information screen there. But what Subaru has done with this is a little bit weird, because it gives you, on the Wilderness model, a front view camera, but yeah, that's where it is. It's in that little space right there, rather than putting it here. And I mean, I guess I'm glad that they have a forward-facing camera. That was something that they've been missing. But then when you put it into reverse, you've got your backup camera right here. So I don't know, you have the camera on the front and you have the camera in the back. Why can't you piece those two together? Now, the third thing on the bad side of the spectrum is going to be this right here, and that's fuel economy. EPA estimates that you should get 28 miles per gallon on the highway, and yeah, I've been getting 23.7 miles per gallon, and that is with 455 highway miles. I know this is an all-wheel drive vehicle, but if the EPA estimates that you should get 28 miles per gallon, yeah, I'd like to get a little bit closer to that. Now, the fourth item on the bad list is going to be this right here, and it's not the fact that it doesn't have wireless charging, because it doesn't. You actually have to wire in to charge, which doesn't actually bother me because it charges your phone better and faster. Nope, the problem is the actual cubby hole here, because it is not big enough to hold my iPhone. I have an iPhone 13, not a Max, just a regular Pro, and this isn't long enough or deep enough to fit my phone with my case. And so basically I'd set my phone like this, and then every time I turned or stopped or did something, you know, a little bit aggressive, my phone would plop out. And after the third or fourth time that it did that, I ended up putting my phone in the cup holder, which, okay, that's fine. But if you're wired in to charge and use Apple CarPlay, and then you put your phone here, you've got a cord mess going on. And in 2022, that is just a little bit annoying. All right, the final thing on the bad list for the Subaru Forester Wilderness is going to be driver assist systems. So I've already said that I really like the adaptive cruise control. So I'm on the highway, we'll turn it on. You hit this button right here, and then you hit the set button to activate it. We'll make sure it's set to the speed limit so that if cars speed up, yep, okay. So it modulates the speed, works really well, it slows you down, love everything about this. But what I don't like is this right here, the steer assist function. And so when that is on, I found myself really fighting against the steering wheel in order to drive, and that is never a win in anybody's book. Turning a corner, trying to dodge a pothole, like, it requires some effort to move the steering wheel. And then if you like really lighten your grip on the steering wheel, then it tells you to put your hands on the steering wheel. So I was very annoyed by the system, and I found more often than not, I would turn it off. And what really annoys me, and why this makes my final bad list thing, is if you have to turn off safety systems because they're too aggressive, then why do you have the safety system? Because it won't be active when you need it. So I just really wish that automakers would make a system that would work well enough that you would want to keep it engaged, but it's not overly invasive. And this system is overly invasive, and that's not good. It is now time for me to wrap up this review with a few driving impressions. I've driven the Subaru Forester Wilderness before, and I really liked it at that time because it was a first look review, and they really put this vehicle in a situation that makes it shine. However, now that I've had it on my own and I've driven to and from Indianapolis, so that's 6 hours behind the wheel, what I want to say is I still really like it. These seats are really comfortable, and the ride quality on the highway is also really comfortable. The other thing I want to point out is even though these tires are a little bit bigger, and you do get a little bit of road noise that enters into the cabin because of the bigger tires, it's not enough for me to really notice, frankly. I listened to podcasts all the way to and from Indianapolis, and it was plenty quiet for that. So in sum, I really like the Subaru Forester Wilderness. It's capable off-road, it's fun to drive in an on-road situation, and yeah, I think this is an all-around winner. Now, I want to make sure that you check out my video on the regular Subaru Forester because, frankly, at the end of the day, that's a vehicle I think my mother should buy. This is a vehicle I want to buy because I could take it off-road. But that's it. That's all I've got for this week, and I want to thank you for watching. Be sure to check us out on the web at pickuptrucktalk.com, and don't forget to follow us on social media at pickuptrucktalk on Twitter and Facebook. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you down the road.